Everyone in my family had their favorite snacks. Mine was peanut butter cookies. Dad hated them and mine was always on a diet, so I often had a whole box all to myself. But things changed after my little brother started eating table food. Noah would always come find me somewhere in the house and ask me what I was snacking on, and he liked my cookies just as much as I did. I started asking Mom to buy 2 boxes, but my brother would always finish his first and I'd have to end up sharing anyway. One Christmas, our parents brought home a rescue dog. I wasn't a big fan of the name Grease, but he was already too old for us to change it. Our new pet stayed to himself a lot in the beginning, but before long it was like he'd been in the family for years. The following summer, me and Noah had a couple of weeks in between school ending and camp beginning. Aunt Rachel came to watch us while our parents went to work. And that's when things started disappearing. Me and Noah got into a fight because he accused me of stealing his fruit snacks, but I've never been much of a candy eater. Coincidentally, the next day, the rest of my cookies were missing, and I knew my brother hadn't eaten them all. There was nearly an entire box. Our parents threatened punishment if we didn't stop arguing over food, but Mom's sentiment seemingly changed when she couldn't find a loaf of bread she had recently purchased. I suggested for her to confront her sister, but Mom said Aunt Rachel wouldn't steal from us. Then that could only leave one person. I took it upon myself to search all over Noah's room for the missing food, but Dad caught me and sent me to my room without television, and that only frustrated me more. I went the next few days without speaking much to my brother or my aunt. Then I overheard a conversation between my parents. Dad asked Mom if she ate all the pretzels before he could get any. Mom said she was planning to ask him the same thing, and when Dad questioned me about them, I reminded him how much I disliked the mustard-flavored ones. My father must have finally got fed up. What he did next was a shock, even to Mom. Everyone was rounded up for a meeting in the family room the following night. Dad had connected the VCR to the TV and there was something he wanted us to see. Without our knowledge, he had set up his video camera in the kitchen to catch whoever was nabbing our treats. Before pressing play, he asked if anyone had anything they wanted to confess. The room remained silent. My father fast-forwarded through hours of recording. The camera caught another spat between Noah and I, but the culprit was still unknown. Then after Aunt Rachel took me and my brother out to the playground, the camera captured something none of us could have guessed was happening. A stranger approached our kitchen window and tapped on the glass. After a moment, Grease came scurrying in, wagging his tail. He barked and greeted the man, and then our dog proceeded to climb onto a kitchen chair, then up to our table. He nudged a bundle of bananas onto the floor, jumped back down, and then grabbed them and carried them over to the door. Grease dropped the fruit, and a hand reached through his pet door to retrieve it. We all were in disbelief. Dad went to the police with the recording. The stranger was found and arrested within days, but he was homeless. Of course, my parents never pressed any charges, and not only that, Dad wound up getting Mr. Remy a job. A friend of our family owned a car detail shop, and even at 52 years old, Mr. Remy quickly became their fastest worker. Some years later, he moved out of town, but he and my parents still stayed in touch. Not long ago, he mailed us out invitations to his wedding, along with some recent photos of him and his bride-to-be. And though he had retired, Mr. Remy picked a new hobby for himself every year or so to not get bored. These days, he was painting. The last photo in the set was of a half-finished mural on the side of his tool shed. I could make out part of a white dog with gray and black streaks on his back and side. I showed the photo to my dog. "Look, Grease, that's you." In the end, everything and everyone turned out okay, and I apologized to Aunt Rachel for being mean to her. Like always, Dad asked me and Noah if we learned anything from our experience. I had. I suggested we get a doggy door that we could lock when we left home, because the next time Grease gave my cookies away, he was staying outside.